Howdy y'all, Christi here with Little Salty Homesteader. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. It is a beautiful morning here in North Texas, and today I'm going to be planting out my bush beans, cowpeas, and the last few of my dwarf okra that's going in that green stalk behind me. I'm really excited about this. I just harvested the last of the lettuce out of the other green stalk, which is where the bush beans and the cowpeas are going. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so for the bush beans and cowpeas, these are another really easy to grow plant for a beginner gardener. There's a ton of varieties of both of these, bush beans and cowpeas. Cowpeas would be what you would be called, you would see called black-eyed peas within your stores. They're grown pretty popularly within the southern states of the country. One of the New Year's traditions, at least that I grew up with, was to have black-eyed peas on New Year's Day for luck. I don't know if that's nationwide or just in the South, but these cowpeas would be what you would grow for those cowpeas, or for those black-eyed peas for luck on New Year's Day. Cowpeas are going to be an indeterminate variety, much like the okra, so the more you harvest it, the more it's going to continue to grow. Now, bush beans are going to be different from the climbing varieties of beans, the pole beans or the runner beans, because they are going to be determinate. So what the difference is indeterminate is going to continue to make more and more and more until the plant gets sick or the plant dies off. Determinate means that it's going to set all of its fruits all at once, and then that's it, it's done, and then it will slowly die off. I have not decided if I'm going to continue to succession sow the bush beans yet, simply because once it gets too awful hot, they're gonna kind of suffer and they're not gonna do too well. But as it cools back down, then new plants will thrive. So maybe I will plant some now, let them give all of the beans that they're going to give, cut them down, let them die off, and then plant new ones for the fall. I haven't really decided. These grow incredibly fast. I was trying to see if it had, let me find, okay, this says days till maturity, 90 days. So this one is going to be a longer one, but some of them are 45 days. I mean, they're super quick. Let me see if I can find one that might be a faster one. Okay, so this one is 68 days, so 2 months and you're harvesting green beans. That's not bad at all. And they're also pretty hands-off. Once you grow them, they don't require fertilizer. These are also nitrogen fixing, so much like the okra, they're going to draw the nitrogen out of the air, store it in their roots. As the plants die off, then they're going to deposit that nitrogen within the soil. You can buy varieties of bush beans that are inoculated with something that helps boost their nitrogen storage. I don't remember what that something is called off the top of my head. I'll try to look it up and let you know, in a little blurb down here or something. But I don't do that. The things that I grow after the beans are typically do just fine, and I'm gonna fertilize them anyway. So with the beans, let me just pull one out of here. That one's actually not easy to see. So I'm trying to find a variety that you'll be able to see what I'm talking about here. Okay, so obviously these are going to look just like your dried beans that you get at the store, right? Okay, so whenever you're planting them, you're going to follow the same planting method that you direct. So anything else, the depth of the hole is going to be twice the size of the seed. I dropped one, let me pick it up. So these we're going to make our holes about 1/2 inch down, and then whenever we plant them, see that little, I'm calling it an eye, I don't really know what else to call it, but see that little eye, that's where it connects to the pot on the inside. But you want to plant that facing up. So whenever you plant it, it's gonna go in the hole just like this. If you can kind of see that, I don't know, I'm using all my fingers to hold it, so maybe not. Because you want that eye thing facing up. That's where the greenery is going to come from, and the roots will come from the bottom. These are a very shallow rooted plant, so they don't typically do well with onions or garlic, but you can companion plant them with almost anything else. Last year I grew them amongst my sweet peppers and okra, and they actually kind of crowded out the okra until I pulled them out, and then the okra was able to get light to be able to grow, because as it gets hotter, the okra grows better. They did absolutely wonderfully as a companion plant, but you know, like I said, they kind of crowded out everything else until they fizzled out, and I was able to pull out the plants. Now, my plan with the green stalk with these is after I am able to harvest off all the fruit that I need off of these, the fruit being the beans. I'm just going to let them, I'll just cut the plant at the surface of the soil, and I'll let those roots die out and deposit all that nitrogen back in, because that green stalk that they're going into is actually the one that I grow lettuce and smaller leafy greens in, so it benefits greatly from the extra nitrogen that gets deposited in. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start planting this bad boy out. I will kind of situate you guys so you can see. I don't have labels made. I'm just gonna wing it, maybe. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Just having the time of my life over here. So I'll situate you guys where you guys can kind of see. I'll speed up the footage, play some music, all that stuff like I've done with all my other planting videos. But I don't think that that's the place for you guys. Let's see. show you these really quick because they're really cute. They look like cows. They're spotted like cows. Dropped one. Okay. You can see that. Spotted like a cow. So I'll very quickly come through here and tell you what's planted on each tier. This is as much for me to be able to go back and put this onto my garden map as it is for you guys to know what different varieties you can look for throughout the spring and summer. So I have Blue Lake bush bean here. Blue Lake bush bean. This is like a typical green bean, and that's in the 3 pockets. Here, the other one is Red Swan. This one's really lovely whenever it's growing, and that's going to be in the remaining 3 pockets on this top tier. The second tier has 3 types planted in it. So it has Royalty Purple Pod, then Jacob's Cattle. I just think that one is really interesting looking. I don't know what the bean pod itself is going to look like yet, but I think the bean itself is really cute. Also looks like a cow. Oh no, this one only had 2. So the Royalty got 3 pockets and the Jacob's Cattle got 2. This one has 3 types on it. I'm 99% sure. Maybe. Yes. Okay. So we have purple TP bush beans here and here. And then we have dwarf horticulture Taylor bush beans here. If I remember correctly, the pod itself is really lovely whenever it's growing. And then the last one that we have is the Tanya's pink potted bean. And then we start the cowpeas and then the cream peas. So we have lady finger pea that goes in all 5 pockets here because there's a kale growing right there. This is wild bergamot, I think. The kale has perennialized. It just keeps coming back. I cut it down and it keeps coming back, so I'm just gonna leave it. This next row is that one that I showed you that looks like a cow. It is called Phenomenal, and one came out of the packet, so let me see if I can get that back in the envelope there. This is a brand new packet, so I'll have to washi tape it closed. And then the next one down is the pink eye purple hole that I just spilled everywhere, so I'll need to clean that up. This one I believe is my grandma's favorite. And then the bottom one is Texas Cream 40 in these 3 pockets, and then the other 3 pockets are the white acre pea on the back side there. So let me get this cleaned up and I'll be right back. Okay, so as you guys can see, direct sowing seeds is really easy. The last step that I have to do for both of these green stalks is just water the soil really well. We want to make sure that it is saturated enough to be able to start to soften the exterior of all of those seeds that we just planted. I did want to briefly mention my favorite bush bean variety that I actually did not plant in this green stalk. It is the Dragon Tongue bush bean. It's like a green, well, it turns yellow as it gets a little bigger, but then it has like purple speckles all down the pod. It's a little bit sweeter whenever you cook with it. My kids will actually eat that one. They're not a big fan of the other ones. I have a few seeds inside that I received through a seed swap. I'm out of the rest of them, which is why I didn't plant them in here, because they weren't in my box with all my other bean seeds. So I'm going to grab those from inside, and I think that I'm going to put a few in between some of the sweet peppers in these 2 raised beds here. Because the sweet peppers are already established and they're starting to grow quite well, I'm not super concerned about the beans like overcrowding them, and I'm not planting them as thickly as I did last year in those raised beds. I'll try to find a picture because it was insane how prolific those plants were. And then I think that I'm going to also plant a few more cowpea / cream pea seeds in these 2 tomato beds, the 2 longest ones, on the row that maybe doesn't have as many companion plants, because like one row has calendula planted through, so I think the other row I'll come through and plant some cowpeas in, just to, you know, as that stuff kills off, it'll deposit nitrogen back into the soil, which will help those tomatoes that I'm trying so hard to grow. So I think that is what I'm going to do. Other than that, the garden is really starting to look wonderful and it's really coming together. I'm very, very excited. This is the last of the planting. I completed the sunflowers yesterday. I didn't film that either. I mean, it follows the same as direct sowing anything else. You put a hole, you plant the seed, you water it, the end. And then, yeah, everything else has been planted. I'm 99% sure. I need to go back through my seeds just to make sure I'm not missing any like little one-offs here and there that I need to try to squeeze in. But I believe that the next video that you guys will see from me is going to be a garden tour. I'm going to try to make it a pretty detailed one, talking about the different varieties that are in all of the beds, because I do have a lot of different things going on. And while those are sweet peppers, there's like 6 different varieties or something. I don't know exactly. And then this green stalk behind me that has the hot peppers has a ton of different varieties of tomatoes and stuff. So I wanted to just kind of walk and talk and point out those different varieties, show you guys what has been going well so far, show you guys what has not been going well so far. There has been roly-poly issues, and while, you know, typically I leave the roly-polies be because they do leach metals out of the heavy metals out of the soil and stuff, it reached the point where there were so many that they were eating the younger, smaller plants, so there's quite a bit of damage out here from that. And then wind, I think it was wind from a storm the other day. It could have been roly-poly damage, I'm not 100% sure. It took out one of the tomato plants. I'm trying to save it. We'll see. I'm low expectations here, just, you know, just trying to make sure that I'm doing the best with the rest of the garden, because I do have a lot of things that are going great. But that's something that you guys have to look forward to for the next video from me. I think, I'm 99% sure, if I can get the time to film it, because it is going to take a little bit. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time. Until then, go find a way to get those garden manicures. Bye!